Putin warns that if one missile enters Russian territory, it will trigger hundreds of warheads. It will be impossible to stop them. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. Shalom, Yasha'Allah. Peace, Israel. Call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. I'm your brother QADASH from the Camp Province in Babylon, here in Tampa, Florida. I would like to give double honors to the head elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth and ruled well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace, blessing, love, health, and witness, and all salutation to the hopeful elect, the house of David that is scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth, that are laboring in his truth with all sincerity. Shalom. And BARAK AHTHAM to the AHTHAM, the few sisters that are listening and learning in. Hoping to feed the lambs and the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Straight to the point, let's get to the lesson. All right. So real quick, as you've seen in the post-introduction post, it says, Putin warns that if one missile enters Russian territory, it will trigger hundreds of warheads. It will be impossible to stop them. Right, man? Because as the prophecies say, 200 million nuclear missiles are prophesied to hit Babylon the Great. All right. And the precept that I brought out, we'll bring that back out for edification's sake. This is Jeremiah 50 and 3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, out of the north. And that nation out of the north would be Russia. And coming up against who? Babylon the Great, man. All right. Because this place here has done nothing but made every single other nation drink of the wine of their fornication, man. All right. When you go into Revelations, it speaks of that. All right. And that wine of their fornication would be what? Their sodomy. All right. Their decrees, which goes into laws. Okay. Their wickedness. All right. Their debt, I should say, their debt dollar. Okay. Because all of these other nations now are starting to get rid of the US dollar. All right. So let's bring it back from the top. Jeremiah 50 and 3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. And how are they going to make their land desolate? All right. What did he just say? It just said that if one missile enters into Russian territory, it will trigger hundreds of warheads. It will be impossible to stop them. Right, man. It's going to be impossible to stop them. And that's how they're going to make her land desolate, man. All right. Russia is constantly gaining new allies. All right. China just posted, which China being one of Russia's allies, posted their, I want to say about 3 weeks to a month ago, posted their army, man. And their army is humongous. Millions of troops. All right. Millions of troops, both ground and air and water. OK, so there's no way to run. All right. There's no way to run. Reading on, it says, they shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. How are they going to be removed and depart, man? OK, you're going to have people that's going to be trying to escape the judgment of Babylon. But even then, OK, you're not going to be able to. You think the planes are going to be flying while there's nukes flying in the air? Not at all, man. OK, scripture say that I created the smith. Let's grab it. Let's grab that real quick. Isaiah 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy them. The Lord created that. So with that being said, that smith goes into those scientists that's able to split those atom bombs. All right. That's able to make those warheads. It said what? It said it will trigger hundreds of warheads, man. OK. So the Lord is in control of all things, man. This is the Lord's movie, man. And the end of his movie is just like the end of Terminator 2 when you seen Sarah Connor standing on that gate, man. That's the ending result for Babylon the Great. That is the ending judgment for Babylon the Great. Thermonuclear fire, man. 200 million nuclear missiles. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. Break it back. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bloweth the coals. So the Lord created the scientists, okay? He created the scientists. He put the spirit and the ideas on these scientists, those German scientists to create those warheads, those nuclear warheads, to split the atoms to create those nuclear warheads. And he also created and put the spirit on those men to do what? To make those silos and those nukes, man. Because it says what? And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. And what is that waster? That ICBM missile, man. Okay, so the Lord created all these things, man. All right. Salakia. Let's grab this precept right here. Let's go to Isaiah. Now, before we go to Isaiah, let's jump over to Revelation. All right. Salakia. Let's grab this first. Let's go to 2 Ezra 16:13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world, man. Okay, his right hand that bendeth the bow, and that's what? His ICBM missiles, man. Okay, Trump had an interview, and he said that the president for China told him that he has a red button. And Trump said, well, I have a red button too, and it works, and it's much bigger. And that red button goes into what? Those nukes, man. Okay, so those nukes that Putin has, okay, all of these other nations that's allied with Putin, with Russia, they're gonna do what? They're gonna line themselves up in array and shoot at Babylon, man, and spare no arrows. All right, this guy is not playing with Russia. I mean, with U.S., man. Okay, Russia. I mean, Salakia. I keep saying Russia. Salakia. Biden keeps giving Ukraine all of these artilleries, okay? And Putin is not liking it. He's like, okay, well, you want to keep arming them with these heavy nuclear artillery weapons, all right? I'm going to start going into and getting my weapons, man. All right, I'm gonna start arming all of these other nations. That's why the scripture goes in to say what? Let those that say I am weak now say I am strong. Loosely paraphrasing. All right, because all of these weak nations that did not have nuclear weapons now have nuclear weapons. When you go to Jeremiah 50:19, it tells you what? All right, put yourself in the array at Babylon. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, man. Okay. Bring that back. For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, man. Those ICBM those intercontinental ballistic missiles, they're sharp. How are they sharp? Because in the end of that warhead, at the end of that nuclear missile, that warhead, it has multiple warheads in it, man. Okay, it could be armed with hundreds, thousands, or even millions of warheads, man, to where that the nuclear blast is beyond a radius of 100 miles, man, or 500 miles, man. You see? And shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So all of these missiles that these other nations have that's going to be shot over here to Babylon, they're going to hit their target, man. If they're aiming for the Pentagon, it's going to hit the Pentagon. If they're aiming for Florida, it's going to hit Florida. If it's aiming for the West Coast, California, Hollywood, any place like that, man, they're going to hit. They're not going to miss at all. All right, let's grab this. Let's go to the book of Revelations, the 9th chapter. All right, letting you know that 200 million nuclear missiles are prophesied to hit Babylon. This is Revelation 9:16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. and I heard the number of them, the number of the army of the horsemen. So now when you go into this, all right, the prophet John the Revelator, okay, and what revelations means to reveal, he was being shown, okay, the ending destruction of Babylon. So at the time, they didn't have the technology that we have now, okay, which we all know. So he explained it and expounded on it to the best of his ability. So when he seen these nukes flying, he what's the word? Salakia. He explained it and expounded as horsemen running, man. Okay? Reading on, it says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone. And the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Right, man? Because it was death angels riding those damn nukes, man. Ready to come down here and destroy you wicked ass niggas, man. You 2/3 Jakes that don't want to repent, that don't want to come back to the truth and sincerity, YAHAWASHI. All right, and also for the third part of men, which would be who? Esau, Edom, man. Okay. Reading on, by these three was a third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails was like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Right, man. Okay, right. Their power was in their mouth. The power is in the warhead that sits in the front of the nuke. Okay, because once the nuke comes down and breaks back through the plane and it goes down, the explosion doesn't happen from the backside of the nuke. The explosion happens from the front part of the nuke where all of the warheads is at. Okay, so that's why I said the power was in his mouth and his tails was like serpents. Why? Because when a nuke is shot off in the air and you see it coming back down, they always have fire coming behind it because it's breaking back through the plane of the earth. Okay, and that tail, the fire on it looked like a straight tail, man. All right, reading on. What's it like? Let's jump over to this next precept. Let's go to Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, and those modern day Medes today will be the Russians, man. So the Lord is stirring up the anger. The Lord is stirring up the Medes against who? Against Babylon, man. Which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So he don't care about the money. You can't buy Putin off. You can't buy his allies off. You can't say, oh, well, hey, let's do a peace treaty. All right. Just like 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, and then sudden destruction cometh about. Okay. That's exactly what Esau, Edom is, man. All right. They want to try to come at you with a peace treaty. Want to try to say, oh, we can do this, we can do that. But the whole time, war is in their heart, man. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. Their bows, their nukes. Russia has the most nuclear missiles out of all of these other nations that are armed with nuclear missiles, with U.S. being in second. But Russia has more, man. Close to 3,000 to 5,000 more. Okay? And they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall spare not children. These nukes are not going to, just because it's a child, doesn't mean it's going to turn off, man. If that child is set for judgment upon a nuclear missile, then he's set for judgment upon a nuclear missile, man. Okay? And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Right, man. And how did the Lord YAHAWASHI overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? With fire and brimstone. And that's exactly what's going to happen to Babylon, man. That's exactly what's going to happen to Babylon. So if Ukraine shoots off any nuclear missile over to Russia, that's going to trigger hundreds of warheads. We're already in World War III. World War III is already going on, which is biblical prophecy. You go to Revelations 11, it tells you what? Let's grab it real quick. Revelations 11 and 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that third woe is what? The third woe is World War III, man. Okay, and that second woe that had passed was the flood. Okay, was the flood. And then that third woe will be World War III, the ending of thermonuclear missiles. All right, that's the ending of Babylon. Verse 20, it shall be inhabited, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert, excuse me, Isaiah 13 and 21. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate places, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged, man. So after the destruction of Babylon, the only thing that will live here is nothing but wild beasts, man. This place is going to be homed of wild beasts, vultures, all type of desert animals. Okay, we're talking about, Komodo dragons, sidewinding snakes, all of those desert type animals will dwell here, man. And it's going to be a fire that's going to forever burn, man. Okay, so this is not a time to be in a time of mirth. This is not a time to be in a time of joyfulness here in Babylon, man. That's why Micah 2 and 10 tells you what? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Brothers and sisters, we're almost home. We got to keep enduring unto the end. World War III is knocking at the door. The MOTB is knocking at the door. Hell, we could see all this go on within the first 6 months of 2023. You already had JP Morgan, Bank of America, and all of these other big-time banks and CEOs saying that 2023 is going to be a year of hell, man. Even the elders and apostles have deemed it. The elders and apostles deemed 2022 the year of turn up of YAHAWASHI and the prophecies. And that's exactly what we've been seeing. The rumors of wars, the sedition amongst men, the uproars of the people, the iniquity that shall abound, and love and many of wax cold. All right. Also, with the Euphrates River drying up, the oil being, and I think that was Saudi Arabia or somewhere like that in the desert. All right, oil just flowing out of the desert, a school of fish, the animals walking in circles, okay? Animals taking high ground. All of these are nothing but prophecies, man, okay? So year 2023 is going to be a year of straight hell, man. All right, and if you don't have YAHAWASHI on your side, it's going to be over for you, man. We're going to end it on this precept, and then I'll read that post again, and Lord willing, this video was edifying. We're going to go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, man. All right, in the beginning of Esau's kingdom was nothing but rape, robbery, murder, lies, deceit, all right, slavery, okay, and so forth and so forth, all right? So the beginning of your world, at one point, it was all glorious and the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, which those Chaldeans are the Edomites today, all right? But the end of your world is made manifest, man, through the scriptures, man. It speaks about it in Revelation 13, all right, how you devils will come up with a charagma, man, all right? And now you have all of these podcasters out here talking about, it seems like we're living in the end times of the book of Revelations and prophecy, which is absolutely right, man. Esau's world is coming to an end, man. That's why scriptures say for Jacob is the end of the world. Salakia, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed, man. So Israel, hold on tight. YAHAWASHI, Barak AHTHAM. To all of you brothers and sisters that are listening in, Lord willing, this video was edifying unto you. It was edifying unto you, be edifying unto the elect. I'm going to close out and read this post one more time, and I'm going to give all praise and glory and honor to YAHAWASHI. It says, Putin warns that if one missile enters Russia territory, it will trigger hundreds of warheads. It will be impossible to stop them. Call Allah. Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the head elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us his truth and rule well. Shalom.